to the explainer. Okay, today we're diving straight into the intense 3-year journey of a postgraduate medical student transforming into a literal master anatomist. When we go to the doctor, we just kind of implicitly trust that they know exactly what's going on beneath our skin. But have you ever stopped to wonder how that foundational knowledge actually gets passed down? Or who the elite experts are that teach it? Well, that's exactly what we're looking at today.
So what does it really take to master the human body? You might think it's just about, memorizing old bones in some dusty room. But as we'll see, the modern reality is a thrilling, cutting-edge hero's journey. It's this exhaustive 3-year program of relentless study, intense physical skill building, and honestly, profound emotional development.
Here's our roadmap for this explainer. First, we'll define the master anatomist. Then we'll look at competencies and core values, followed by the modern syllabus, teaching and hands-on training, and finally, the ultimate assessment. Let's jump in. Part 1. The master anatomist, the call to action. So the Medical Council of India actually lays out the authoritative, uniform guidelines for the MD in anatomy. And their preamble makes it crystal clear right from the jump. The purpose of postgraduate medical education isn't just about passing tests, no way. It's designed to create specialists who provide high-quality healthcare and actually advance the cause of science itself. The ultimate goal here isn't simply to produce a doctor who knows where your organs are. They're forging a multifaceted expert. This person must be a highly capable teacher for medical and paramedical students, a true innovator oriented to the principles of research methodology, and a leader who can participate in massive national health education programs. I mean, that is a huge order. Moving on to Section 2, Competencies and Core Values, the 3 pillars. All right, the first pillar is the cognitive domain. And let me tell you, the sheer volume of knowledge required here is absolutely staggering. We aren't just talking about gross anatomy, the visible structures of the entire body. A master anatomist must deeply comprehend the microscopic world too. We're talking cellular differentiation, the incredible complexities of genetics, the human immune system, and how to apply literally all of this to solve complex clinical problems. Their brain basically becomes a living, breathing encyclopedia of the human form. Next up is the psychomotor domain. This is where book knowledge meets physical, tactile skill. It demands absolute mastery in the lab. This includes the physical art of intricate dissection, embalming, preparing tissues for the microscope, and even interpreting advanced imaging techniques like CT scans, MRIs, and ultrasounds. They physically have to demonstrate the anatomical basis of clinical procedures. It's hands-on in the most extreme way. But perhaps the most profound requirement is the third pillar, the affective domain. This one focuses strictly on the human element. The guidelines explicitly require these highly trained scientists to cultivate self-awareness, empathetic behavior, and a true dedication to equity and social accountability. They absolutely cannot let personal beliefs or prejudices get in the way of their duty. It essentially ensures that these experts remain compassionate healers at their very core. In fact, the guidelines actually mandate, quote, due respect in handling human body parts and cadavers, humane touch while demonstrating living surface marking. It's a powerful reminder. Amidst the intense science and razor-sharp scalpels, the curriculum mandates a profound ethical responsibility. Every cadaver was a person, right? And that utmost respect for human life and remains is hardwired right into their training. Okay, Section 3, the modern syllabus, beyond the scalpel. The field has evolved so dramatically over the years. While traditional anatomy, like dissection, embalming, and bone identification definitely remains a core necessity, the modern syllabus plunges students into the absolute frontiers of science. They're required to learn about the collection and application of stem cells, cryobanking, the principles of gene therapy, and even PCR technology in immunology research. It's this brilliant, seamless blend of ancient medical arts and cutting-edge science. Just look at the sheer breadth of this 8-part syllabus for a second. Students start at gross anatomy and embryology, but they quickly have to master histology, the insane intricacies of neuroanatomy, genetics, and immunology, before finally applying it all through radiology. A master anatomist truly has to be an expert in everything from microscopic cellular biology all the way up to complex radiological imaging. That brings us to Section 4, Teaching and Hands-on Training, Forging the Expert. So the training methodology here is highly interactive and incredibly structured. Didactic teaching by faculty, that's really just the beginning.
The core of their 3 years is a completely immersive, hands-on experience in the labs. But here's the coolest part. To learn, they must teach. Postgraduate students are actively required to participate in the teaching and training programs for undergraduate medical students. Plus, they have to maintain these meticulous logbooks, which are checked periodically by faculty, recording every single practical exercise they complete. And the workload totally doesn't stop at just learning and teaching. Before a student is even allowed to appear for their final postgraduate degree examination, they have to actively contribute to the global scientific community. The guidelines literally state they must present at least one poster, read one paper at a conference, and actually publish, or at least have accepted for publication, a rigorous research paper. This makes sure they aren't just consumers of knowledge, right? They're creators of it.
And finally, Section 5, the ultimate assessment, the final battle.
The assessment gauntlet for this program is monumental. It's structured in 3 distinct parts. First, the thesis. This is an original research project that has to be submitted and accepted 6 whole months before the exams even begin. Second, the theory examination. And finally, the grueling practical exams. Every single facet of their 3-year journey gets tested here.
Now, the theory section alone is a complete marathon. We're talking 4 comprehensive written papers covering everything from the entire gross human body in paper 1 to embryology and genetics in paper 2, neuroanatomy in paper 3, and recent advances like organ donation in paper 4. Just imagine the mental endurance required to even sit for these. Once the theory is out of the way, they face the practical exams, which are spread out over a minimum of 2 very intense days. Day 1 features dissection and microscopic spotting. Day 2 requires them to demonstrate their teaching skills in a micro-teaching session, present their thesis synopsis, and then they face the dreaded Grand Viva. The Grand Viva is this massive oral examination testing them on dissected parts of the whole human body, embryology models, genetics, and various imaging scans. It is a literal face-to-face trial by fire.
And the stakes? Well, they're incredibly high. The guidelines mandate that obtaining a minimum of 50% marks in theory and 50% in practicals separately is absolutely required to pass. There is zero averaging a bad practical with a good theory score here. You must prove baseline mastery in both the mind and the hands to earn the title of MD in anatomy. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this thought. We've just seen the unbelievable depth of knowledge, the rigorous ethical standards, and the sheer intense pressure these postgraduates face over 3 years. Consider the immense dedication behind the scenes that guarantees our medical system actually functions. The next time you consult a doctor, remember the master anatomists who train them. How does knowing about this intensive, invisible preparation change the way you view the healthcare you receive every single day? Something to think about.